Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
The rise and fall of G-Unit.
But once the roller coaster go down, and people still gonna kiss 50 ass because he's 50 Cent. But once our G-Unit roller coaster went down, everybody was different.
I'd like to forget the G-Unit.
No.
Now, let us go over why 50 Cent wants to forget about G-Unit. And we will begin in order of events.
Oh, I know a little
The founding
bit.
fathers of
What do you know?
He doesn't G-Unit includes the game, right?
I think in the later iteration, the game joined.
I only know
G-Unit
that he
are-
doesn't really get along with the game anymore.
50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo, who all grew up in South Jamaica. As you all know, 50 Cent was shot. And fearing financial losses, Columbia Records refused to work with 50 Cent, and he was left with nothing. Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo didn't
'Cause he
abandon
was
their
shot?
friend who was in
I guess, needed
Oh.
time to recover or whatever. I don't know.
need, and they offered him to work on their own songs. Their hip-hop group was named G-Unit. They recorded songs at producer Shot Money XL's house.
I honestly know 50 Cent as the face of G-Unit.
He's definitely the most popular member of G-Unit.
He is, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, come on.
I feel like I heard of Tony Yayo, but maybe because of Nicki Minaj.
Selling
than
that
the
yayo.
yayo.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
Well, I mean, I know all of them, but 50 Cent.
who's the other person?
Lloyd Banks.
Oh, that was Lloyd.
Yeah,
They
Lloyd
used his real name. That was
We
his...
on fire
Oh,
up in here. It's
I didn't
burning
recognize
hot.
him.
On fire. No, it's not Lloyd. It's Lloyd and Banks. There was two Lloyds. There was Lloyd,
Put his
and there was
back up.
Lloyd
Let me see,
Banks.
let me
Okay.
see, let me see
The regular Lloyd was R&B artist. This Lloyd Banks is a rapper.
Oh, you know I know the R&B one. I
Yeah.
don't think I know
He-
the other one.
He's in the middle. Lloyd Banks is in the
Oh, no, I don't know him. I thought it was Lloyd.
middle. No, Lloyd is another artist. It was confusing back in the day. I understand. Me too.
And 50 had signed a contract with Interscope Records and had begun working on the classic album Get Rich or Die Trying. On top of that, 50 Cent had gotten acquainted with Young Buck, who also
Oh, and Young Bug. We forgot about Young Bug too.
soon became a member of G-Unit. Tony, Lloyd, and Buck all took part in 50's
You
album.
see, when he just says Lloyd, I'm thinking Lloyd, the R&B artist.
You need some help?
Chill, yeah, yo, I got this. Mama tears got me heated, heavily weeded, smoking that bomb cause I need it. I'm tempted to take your block off, your niggas can't run cause I'm behind you.
After the success of the album, 50 founded his own label company called G-Unit Records, and he began recording the album Beg for Mercy. However, Tony
That was a hot
Yayo quickly
album.
adopted out of the recording process of the release due to a case of illegal possession of firearm. Young Buck took his place as a replacement.
Every hoe we open, all the gangsters around know my hope. Wanna bring Jordan B, easy smile. Baby, you know my style, you know how I get down.
During the production of Beg for Mercy, Los Angeles rapper The Game was discovered and placed into G-Unit by Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine of Interscope Records.
Wow.
The Game made his first appearance as a member of G-Unit on Lloyd Banks and Young Buck's debut album.
I wonder
The
if
Hunger
that
for
was
More.
a little awkward because he's coming from the West. You know, he's not. But 50 Cent, he's not really like in New York. He's like Midwest a little bit.
50 Cent.
Yeah, because of Eminem, the whole connection. So that whole like, he doesn't really claim like an area per se.
50 is New York.
He says he's New York.
I say he's New York.
Oh,
And
well, from the association, because he has a lot of alliance with Eminem.
I think the thing is with the game, maybe what made it awkward is the fact that he was kind of dropped in by Jimmy Iovine. Like,
And not by Dr. Dre.
well, Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine, but those two people are not have what they have to do with 50 Cent. They-
So how they were able to drop him off? Like,
Because they're like part of the label, so they're like, oh, take
you
this guy.
tried
in.
this guy?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a little bit interesting.
And straight out of Cashville.
A year past, now God dead, hell gone. And I'm sick, boy, shopper with a long clip. G-Unit, coming straight out of
But I do feel like they were able to blend pretty well. The Game was able to fit the flow with 50 Cent. I didn't feel like I was hearing two different like sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 8-town stomping.
And the issues within G-Unit had begun when The Game was preparing his album, The Documentary. But before that, him and 50 Cent had released a single together called How We Do.
This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so sure.
During the album's promo work and before its release, The Game went on many radio shows across the country and dissed major artists like Jay-Z and Memphis Bleak. At the beginning, these issues didn't alarm or worry 50 Cent, although he was disappointed with the game's reckless behavior. 50 Cent helped the game produce the album, helped him with his songwriting skills, helped him come up with the choruses, and he even gave him a few songs like Hate It or Love It and How We Do.
I looked at Fifth like, you
wow.
gonna give this nigga this shit? This is how we do all that shit, hate it, love it. I'm looking at him like, these are hits. Motherfucker, give me that shit.
The guys prepared their album, the documentary by The Game, and St. Valentine's Day Massacre by 50 Cent.
But
however,
the game he did those records just did. Like his voice was really good for that.
Tony Yayo would have killed it too.
I want to hear his version now.
Tony Yayo, he's fire.
The Game demanded that his album be released prior to 50's. And because of that, the
Really?
latter album had to be moved from February 14th to the 5th of March and was renamed to simply The Massacre. That upset 50. Also, 50 Cent
Why?
didn't like that the game was hanging out with people whom 50 Cent had issues with. What's more is that the game
Oh.
never even gave him any credit for anything he did.
Who was some of the key people
Wow.
that put you where you are right now?
Oh man, Dr. Dre, man.
Wow.
Next up, the music video for
Wow.
Hate It or Love
Oh,
It was
I know that offends him because I know my cancer. Okay, you have to give your respect. Okay,
I see where 50's coming
that's
from.
foul. Why would you do that? What's his sign?
Who, the game?
Mm-hmm.
The game kind of looks slimy though. Even with the whole, remember the dating show he did? He all the fallout from that show too. He kind of slimy.
Hold on.
Underdogs on top, and I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart stop. Go ahead, envy me.
In the music video, you can see the game and 50 Cent sitting in a lowrider. But 50 Cent is sitting in the back
His
seat, far away
birthday,
from the
I don't know
game,
what he
and
is.
doesn't
He's
look
like
happy in the
November
video.
29th. I don't know what that makes him. A Saji?
I hate to break the news, but those guys had to shoot their parts for that music video separately. They couldn't bear to be in the same room together, says the song's co-producer
What?
Dre, one half of the
Why?
Miami-based rapper.
Because they,
What?
because they were beefing. Hold up.
Bear to be in the same room together, says the song's co-producer Dre, one half of the Miami-based rap production duo Cool and Dre. Everything went downhill as people began noticing the tension between them, and 50 Cent decided to kick the game out of G Unit.
People's
Yeah.
names for shock value. He says things he doesn't mean. He says a lot of things
Yeah.
to take it back. He says,
That's
he had
reckless.
issues with Joe Buttons. Then he runs into him in the club and they're taking pictures. He had issues with Memphis Bleak. Then he ran into Memphis Bleak in Miami.
Oh, that's
Miami,
too
it was
much
no problem.
problems.
He has a lot of inconsistencies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. He got
it's
to go.
incredible that he would come back and forget how much I've done for him.
At one of the game's concerts, he decided to take a shot at G Unit and even throw away a chain with the label's logo on it. A week later, 50 Cent gave an interview on Hot 97. The game found out about it and decided to pay his former friend a visit. 50 found out that the game is somewhere close by, so he dropped everything and went to meet him. Here, a fight broke out, in which one of the people in the game's circle got shot in the leg. Sometime later, they decided to reconcile on the anniversary of Biggie's death. However, as you can imagine, things didn't end there. Then the game released a mixtape in which we can see the game holding up 50's head in his hands while wearing a hoodie that says GU not on it.
When it's beef, we eat, we win, bologna, we pop. We sell records with a G.
50 Cent responded with the song, I'm Not Rich and Still Lying. In this rather amusing diss track, the rapper says that the game is a liar and that nobody believes him, and that he was never in a coma and was never even in a gang. 50 obtained this information from the game's brother.
Be calling me crazy, I might be just maybe. I'm gangster, I'm crippin', I'm too,
From
I'm
his
trippin'.
In
brother?
2008, Young Buck's role
Of course,
in the
you
band
know he's a savage. That's a savage move. From his
wow.
brother, he got that tea.
But I'm not, honestly, what I'm seeing about the game, I'm not really surprised about anything. I just kind of,
I didn't know all this.
I didn't know it either, but he kind of like, it fits how I see him. For whatever reason, that's how I always felt about him. To me, he never fit the G Unit.
and significantly lessen. The rapper appeared in G Unit mixtapes less and less, and when G Unit showcased their songs to MTV, he wasn't featured in the process. Buck gave an interview in which he spoke out about his situation with G Unit. He said that at times he feels the need to get things off his chest, but that he's never disloyal to 50. Buck insisted that the crew has an understanding. He claimed he initially tried to address his concerns with 50 directly, but when he couldn't get a hold of the G Unit leader, he began speaking out, knowing that Fifth would eventually contact him. It's an understanding that we have as a crew, he told the magazine, not just with 50, but as a family. Everybody has had their situations, but everybody handles that shit a little different, because we all individual men. For me, it's just about getting shit off my chest and airing the shit out. But as far as being disloyal to my people, it's far from that. I pretty much knew that after me being verbal with the press and letting them know I felt like communication is slacking between me and my guy, that somehow 50 was going to reach out. Buck added. And he reached out to my manager. He was like, yo, I got 50 on the phone. Y'all need to talk. 50 Cent gave an interview and said that Young Buck is no longer a member of G Unit and added the following. You can look at that and see that's game all the way, he said, comparing Buck's actions.
This was really inconsistent with his character.
Oh, he's really about
He can't value
loyalty.
a person in
Loyalty,
general.
loyalty, loyalty.
To give you a lot of inconsistency. His game is similar.
Later on, 50 Cent leaked a conversation with Young Buck where he was crying and wishing things would return as they were before.
You gave me the idea, you gave me the hope, and that's what I explained throughout my interviews, like, you know.
As Young Buck himself says, he never received a royalty check in his entire career, clarifying that his money was earned solely from shows. And after that, Buck released a diss track against him.
Record my phone call when I spoke from the heart. That was a year ago. This was a joke from the start.
And of course, with the game too. Wow.
2008, G Unit released the second and final album under the name Terminate on Sight.
Oh, Ryder was fire.
It seemed fine to have a confrontation with the game.
Can we talk about how, like, when we do a diss track, we're referring to, like, they're using samples from the classics, but when the ladies do it, it's a problem.
Why?
No, I'm just saying, because
I've
seen that in the comment. Like, for example, when you have Saweetie, when she drops a song, or for example, Cardi B.
Who's Saweetie? Did she did somebody?
No, but when she used samples of classic songs, and consistently, because I see consistently so far, I got like kind of like 4 or 5 songs
like
using samples for a diss.
The sample is problematic for me. Was I could say like Nicki's album for the fact that she had like half the songs with big samples.
But like this was like 4 or 5 already.
What song was samples? Only Straight Outta Southside.
No, there was from the previous batch. Everyone who wants to do a diss, they use a sample, and I just think it's hypocritical because we don't talk about it.
I don't know.
Or with poor Young Buck. But to start a confrontation with his own crew was too strange. But first things first.
Next
2010,
time, we should cover the beef between Eminem and Mariah Carey.
And exploded with rage when Lloyd Banks didn't want to feature Eminem in his album. This is what he wrote on Twitter. Now, this why I'm not fucking with these guys no more. I get Eminem to be on Banks' album, and this asshole gonna say he don't want him on it. I should this man. They fucking with my money. I knew I shouldn't have fucked with these shitheads. Gonna say you don't want the biggest? I made these people rich. I'm finished fucking with them. I should shoot this guy. This is crazy. I'm getting this man shot. Fuck it. Later on, February 20th, 2014, Tony Yayo said that G Unit had officially broken up, saying he and 50 Cent were no longer friends, and also announced his retirement from music, saying it had caused him too much stress, and they had already accomplished.
Now, in this situation, okay, how come he couldn't say I didn't want to have Eminem on the track? Because it seems like 50 Cent.
He did say that.
Yeah, but 50 Cent said no, I want him on the track. Because you're gonna mess with my money. But it didn't seem like his other partners had any say, really.
Well, 50 is the producer, I guess, right? So the producer.
So he has final word.
He wants to make more money on, and Eminem is gonna draw money because it's a big name. I mean, I guess the guy Lloyd Banks, he did have a final say because the collab never happened, so he had the final say. It just pissed 50 off.
But then to put that out there so people can understand, oh, he's messing with my money, I feel like that shouldn't come out externally. I think that just stay
that's
internally.
your cancer. Go talk to him.
I know. That's what I kind of feel like, okay, because you're upset that you made these people rich, but you want them to be rich on your terms and they cannot have say. And then when they do have say, you go ahead and tell everyone. You go ahead and tell everyone your business.
Kinda, if you bring them up, because they all got rich literally because of 50. They weren't doing something together.
Yeah, they
50
worked together.
was doing it, and he brought them.
Yeah, and they worked together because he sees that he couldn't do it by himself. You can't.
No, he could have done by himself, but they were boys, so he brought them up. He did. He'll do it by himself. 50's solo career is just fine.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so part of the G Unit, he brought them up though. His solo career, he didn't need them for his solo career.
But I think the whole point of G Unit is to even make more money, because that's why you bring in more people into it. No,
sure, yes.
Because I'm not saying G Unit that part was a success before his solo success, because he had solo success at first.
Yes.
And then he wanted to make it bigger by bringing in a team, because he lost the label, working with the label of Columbia. So he wants to establish his own to make it bigger, but he couldn't find the people that you kind of mesh with his style of leadership, it seems like.
Everything he wished to do. After that, the unpleasant remarks from 50 continued toward these two. I actually haven't spoke to him very much.
Because he's
to
not
fault of that,
perfect. I think he
I
could understand that, young.
I disabled them, he said. I did so much for them that they don't have a continuous work ethic. They got both of those tapes out there. But did you see any visuals? Anything? There's certain things that the new guy is doing to create momentum or energy. They just sit there and wait. When someone works for you, you have the habit of dealing with things by not dealing with them. You may get in the regimen of coming over and doing it for them. He later said that Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo are like milk that has an expiration date.
Oof.
So excited for book club.
Seriously,
We know 50's
came out of-
petty.
How can
We
I
know
rearrange my
that.
living room to feel more?
Tony Yayo commented about this in the following way. As much bullets I took for G Unit,
They-
my mom's crib shot up, almost killed my sis and my niece. Now I'm compared to milk. I made that brand. In an interview with Rap Fix Live, 50 Cent
this
said
goes
that
deep.
Banks started feeling uninspired music.
That goes deep.
It goes deep, and that's why the Game thing was problematic, because Game would go out there dissing everybody. Back then, dissing people wasn't just words. Back then, dissing people is bullets. Yeah.
Musically after his father died in 2006. But 50 revealed that he found it hard to relate to his longtime homie's grief. His father passed away, and I was like, all right, he passed away, but you can't just go home and stay home, 50 recalled, telling Banks. Ask Kanye. His mother passed away while his record was at a peak point. If he didn't go on tour, he wouldn't be the Kanye you know right now. It was only in the spring of 2014 that 50 Cent compared them
Messed
to
up.
expired milk. However,
Messed
in as
up.
soon as June
Yeah,
of
he's
2014,
not
the group was already
perfect.
reunited at Summer Jam. And they
But then
performed
again,
G-Unit.
I don't know what you can say to a person who beat death several times. Like, if you beat death several times,
He's not afraid of nothing.
you're not
Yeah,
afraid.
he has no fear, yeah.
Its greatest hits. After the group's performance, they announced that they were working on a new EP, which was named The Beauty of Independence.
Now, I ain't heard of this. I need to check
This
this
is
out.
for the ladies.
I haven't listened to this.
And here, yet again, a conflict broke out between 50 Cent and his friends. This time, it was Sha Money XL, who was president of G-Unit Records until 2007. The beef was purely due to financial disagreements.
When I actually received the check from actual the deal with Interscope and Aftermath and Shady, they go $1 million something. He see everybody reaching at my pockets, and he's doing it too. I get a call from Chris. Chris tell me, yo, what we gonna do about Sha? And he's like, no, he's asking about how to charge for studio time. And I'm like, well, what's the studio bill? It's light bill? So when I paid the $50,000, check this out, he asked for $50,000. I said, yo, don't take $50,000, take $30,000 in a point. Mind you, the point was worth $1.3 million.
Damn.
I sold 13 million records on that album. So it's like, take 30,000, take 1.3, 30, right, instead of 50,000. He said 50,000, give him the 50,000. I give you the 50,000 cash as singles right now, because he didn't understand what he was doing at that point. Then the lawyer goes, no, listen, can I say something to him? You know, like, can I just say something to him? Because I don't think he understands exactly what he's actually doing. I go, now when I get it, I go, like, you're not my partner. Like, you've been paid for all of your services.
Ja Money XL commented about this on Twitter.
I wonder what was the misunderstanding in that part.
He's right though. If you're just charging hourly and you're not getting no points, no nothing, you're not really a partner. You're not invested into this doing well. You're just worried about your work. Partner, when you take a point, that means you are invested into doing
you
well.
have something to lose.
Yeah.
They're saying, who wants to be partners with him? They fall out eventually, so let's talk facts, not lies. Fuck you, pay me. We're all your partners. Walmart ass guy, you get what you pay for. A cheap person will do cheap things. 2015, they released The Beast is G-Unit.
Lessons on DVD, pay-per-view shit, make a move since 203, can't see me free.
Now we return to the saga between 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks. 50 didn't like that Lloyd was photographed with the Game. What do you see when you look at this picture? I see confusion. I'm not sure if it's just me. I'm a cancer. Shit don't get old with me. I never asked for trouble, but I really don't have a problem with it.
Body
I'm different.
built like
The
a
question is how I
dancer.
feel about it. But how does Lodi Mac feel about it? Some shit is just better off left alone. February 1st, 2018, in his single Crazy, featuring PNB Rock, 50 Cent said he and Lloyd Banks were no longer on speaking terms.
Banks, me and him don't even talk no more. You know, cause of me, he ain't never have to sell crack.
And in June, Banks and 50 Cent announced his departure from both the group and the label.
He couldn't even tell you, like, at any point when you speak to him what a problem is.
I put him like where I put Marquise. They just have something internally that's going on with them that gives them some sort of resentment.
Oh,
towards me,
you know,
and
I
just kinda
understand
care.
him completely because when I have an issue with somebody, I need them to explain to me. So what's the problem? And what would irritate me is the person can never tell me what the problem is. Never tell me what the problem. Oh, I relate. I feel this.
In 2019, the conflict between Young Buck and 50 Cent resumed. Their most recent feud can be traced back to the beginning, when Buck called out 50 for trying to sabotage his career after the former's music was removed from streaming services and a cease and desist note was sent to his distribution label from G-Unit Records. Ever the king of pettiness, 50 responded by taking to Instagram and sharing an alleged audio recording of Buck discussing his transgender sex scandal. A month later, 50
Yeah, he had a little thing here, like he's gay or whatever. Like the Young Buck. I didn't know if 50 Cent actually released it. I knew Young Buck was like allegedly kind of accused of swinging that way. I didn't know if 50 had anything to do with it.
He was still mocking
I
the
didn't know we were
situation.
gonna take this turn.
He posted this on Instagram. Young Buck is almost ready to drop his album. He worked hard on this project. I told him his personal choice to date a transsexual will confuse some of his core audience, but with the support of the LGBT+, he should be fine. Young Buck was tired of this, and he went.
Oh my God.
He just dropped the bomb.
Oh my goodness.
Now walk off. Now walk off.
My
on air.
God.
Play for the gram. You can do all this social media trolling shit you do. I'm talking about the real life shit. The
You think he's driving?
Fuck all that old extra ass gimmick shit. I'm talking about the real life. You want to talk about a nigga owe you some, show us a receipt, nigga.
Young Buck filed for bankruptcy because 50 Cent sued Buck for $250K for owing the label 2 albums. The Nashville rapper reportedly had no money or property to his name in June and was relying on his girlfriend to support him. Generally speaking, all of these conflicts and beefs within the label drove 50 to want to forget.
Damn, that's a big fall. He ain't got no money. Shit. That's
And
tough.
the girlfriend's not even wife. She's just a girlfriend.
That's tough.
Forget about G-Unit.
I'd like to forget the G-Unit.
No.
Yeah, well.
In the book Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, 50 Cent yet again spoke out about Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks. I've always felt that if I had maybe done a better job teaching Banks and Yayo how to evolve and change their habits, they each would be in better places right now. While I was out hustling, Banks was more content staying on his porch, watching the world from there. Banks wanted things to come to him as opposed to going out and getting them for himself. That's not me trying to assassinate his character. The guy has Lazy Lloyd tattooed on his arm. He literally wears his laziness on his sleeve. G-Unit hasn't been active for a long
very
time,
poetic.
and 50 takes on something of a regretful tone when looking back at how it fell apart. My intention was for
Yeah,
G-Unit to be the first
yes,
branches in a family
okay.
tree, he wrote. I
'Cause
birthed
he
my
was
sons,
wrong.
but they didn't bear me any children. It all stopped with them. In an interview, Tony Yayo reacted to this in a calm manner.
I mean, you know, I see the way 50 work, and I'm like, yo, when he always be like, yo, y'all are lazy. And I'm just realizing, like, I thought I was working when I wasn't. So during the COVID, it was just like a tough time. Like, I'm sitting back, wasn't no tours. I'm like, yo, I gotta figure out other things to do, bro.
But in the album titled The Course of the Inevitable, Lloyd Banks released a song which could be dedicated to 50 Cent. That's because in the song, he says that 50 is already not the person he used to be, and now he's acting like a stranger. And of course, he commented about his words about laziness.
Call me quiet, call me lazy, talent never faded. It's frustrating when you're grinding ain't appreciated.
At the moment, G-Unit consists only of Tony Yayo
I guess
and
because
50
his
Cent.
grind don't match, 50's grind. Okay.
I think that's where,
And it was pulling him like back, like
I think that's the core issues because people have different ethics, and you know, the cream of the crop, the top, you know, the Beyoncés, the 50s, their work ethic is just different.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And in the previous year, 50 Cent has said that the group will no longer return. And here's why.
I'm done with carrying them around. My back hurts.
I see Yayo with you on tour, though.
Yeah, look, yeah, he's a different animal. Like, and we just keep going to the next time he does something wrong.
That's nice.
That's the relationship.
Right. That's my nigga. We
Keep
stayed in
going
the
till
Waldorf
something go wrong.
Astoria.
Aw.
We living the best life. We flew around the world.
Is
Judging by
he the
Lloyd-
same person that's like his hype man? Is that his person like behind him that
Yeah,
know?
that's Tony Yayo.
Oh.
When he did the
so yeah,
50
so
Cent
he
performance,
keeps
that
looking
was Tony
busy.
Yayo, yeah.
Wow.
with
So
GQ,
now
the relationship
he has his
between-
little check money coming. That's good. That you see, he's not so heartless.
Between him and 50 improved in the last year. It's the same. We're brothers. We came into this together. We're never all
Aw,
going to be
that's
doing the
nice.
same thing at the same time at this point in
I
our
do
careers.
think-
You know what I mean?
I don't know if this video gonna touch on it, but it does seem that the game is also a little bit remorseful for how everything went down, especially because when when the money starts to dry up, you start feeling so like, damn, people were trying to help me make money.
The last conversation.
I don't know. For me, the game never fit the crew though. The other three
I
guys,
can see that.
the other two guys were always felt like a crew.
Yeah.
The game was kind of like, even like his music gave more West Coast vibe versus that aggressive New York style. So to me, it never fit.
I had with 50 was basically him telling me to get whatever I left out there because some hiatuses were planned and some weren't. But I can't sit and cry about spilled milk. I got to go out there and make it happen. We did something special that will never be done again. Honestly, there are more positive moments than anything else. That's where I'm at with 50 Cent and Tony Yayo. We're brothers, and it's always
Like,
going to be that way.
they look like,
And
yeah.
by the way, when the album Get Rich or Die Trying celebrated 20 years since its release, Sha Money XL said that regardless of the conflict between them, he likes 50 Cent and considers him a genius. The next video I recommend you watch
Ooh.
is
Can I see the comments?
That
That was interesting. I learned something completely new.
You didn't know there was Lloyd Banks.
I thought it was just Lloyd.
Who is your favorite artist from G Unit? I think you have to ask that question aside from 50 Cent. Mine probably would be Lloyd Banks. Because I feel like Lloyd Banks has a couple good songs. Young Buck, I think he has 2 good songs. And Tony Ayo is more good as a feature than his own music, I would say. So I would say Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks has a nice voice he fits with that R&B-ish hip-hop vibe. Lloyd Banks started up is the last super hit of the old rap era, underrated hit. G-Unit will never be forgotten. Yep, those mistakes and albums are forever legendary. Lloyd Banks, smart. Yeah, G-Unit. G-Unit made me buy my first chain.
G-Unit?
I had a G-Unit chain, yeah.
Really?
And it was a spinner chain, like spins
Oh my
G-Unit.
god.
Yeah, it was my
what
first
was
chain.
this?
When was this? I don't know, like 07 or 8 or 6 or 7, something like that. Yeah, I bought it off, I think of China or something.
China?
Yeah.
So not directly from the G-Unit.
Oh, hell no. First of all, ain't no G-Unit shipping to Lithuania. But yeah.
That's cool.
Good times.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.